We're going to start today's show with the Browns trade and a reminder that FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers can bet $5, and if that $5 bet wins, you get $300 to use in bonus bets across the app. So if you're ready to play, just download the FanDuel app right now by visiting FanDuel.com/UCSS to get started. That is FanDuel.com/UCSS to place your first $5 bet.
By the way, Bernie Kosar will be on later. He got mentioned on Pardon the Interruption yesterday. And also Brooke Pryor, who covers the Steelers. We'll talk to her later. But now we talk about the Browns making another trade.
Let's do it. The Browns sent Greg Newsome to Jacksonville for Tyson Campbell. They were both cornerbacks selected in the 2021 NFL Draft. There's a lot of money implications involved with this. But, Bo, what was your initial reaction to the Browns making a cornerback for cornerback swap?
I just thought it was odd because you don't often see player-for-player trades in the NFL. You certainly don't see them in the regular season, and you certainly rarely see them the same position for the same position. They were in the same draft, as Mike said. Mm-hmm. Newsome was drafted ahead of Campbell. Mm-hmm. The Browns, or the Jaguars, got the higher pick back, right? The 6th versus the 7th.
Correct.
So, in theory, they're saying that that Newsome is better than Campbell. That's what the teams are saying in a way. Maybe not, because Campbell is signed through 2 more years where Greg Newsome is not. So at least Campbell is cost controlled. So I just thought it was an odd trade. That's the first thing I thought. Now, how this helps or doesn't help the Browns, I have no idea. So I'll turn to Tyvis, who is our cornerback here. And Tyvis, I know Tyson Campbell, when he first came into the league, was really good the first 2 years. Mm-hmm. He had 5 picks his first 2 years in the league. In the 2 and change years since, he's had 1 pick. Yeah. And he's been hurt a lot the last 2 years. And the word on the street from Jacksonville is his great athleticism is not quite at what it was because he's been hurt the last 2 years. What say you?
Yeah, I mean, it was a point in time where people projected him to be a top 10 corner in this league. I thought that he was playing really well. He signed that extension, and I was like, okay. You know, they believe in him as potentially always going to be that. And, yeah, he has not been that guy that I thought he was going to be as of lately. But, you know, hopefully, you know, he gets into another scheme. He comes here. He plays a lot of man-to-man. Hopefully that pass rush helps a lot. But when you talk about him versus G. Newt, I think the biggest difference is there's so many question marks with were they going to pay G. New after this season? If you did pay him, would you pay him as an outside or slot guy? Like, you have so many different questions. This is a complete outside corner. Like, he's going to play opposite of Denzel on the outside all the time. And I think that when you look at the money part, I think he's getting like 15 and a half over the next couple of years.
Right, which is reasonable.
Yeah, and I think that the number one thing that people are not considering is Martin Emerson has an Achilles injury.
I think this signals to me that he's not coming back.
Now, they probably will bring him back, but like on a minimum type deal. Like,
well, yeah, okay, maybe.
Because you got to, I mean, you never know. He might bounce back. He might be still good.
Right, but he's not going to be, like, this
dude's supposed to be, exactly.
Yeah.
But you still need some insurance behind it. I think that they would probably address that in the draft as well. But I don't see this as, like, I mean, it comes off as Martin Emerson is done. Like, we just going to roll with these 2 corners. Yeah. But I do think that they'll bring Martin back for depth reasons and let him get healthy and let him at least compete. Because you know how we compete around here.
Mm-hmm. And they can. Campbell, I believe 26 is the last year of guaranteed money for Campbell.
Yeah, so next year, just from a financial standpoint, the Browns are paying him essentially nothing for the rest of this year. Jacksonville paid the majority of his guaranteed money up front last year. He has $1.8 million guaranteed left this year, so they're actually saving about $8 million, them being the Browns saving about $8 million this year. Next year, he is guaranteed $13.2 million. And then after that, there's no more guaranteed money in the contract.
So he's definitely going to be here next year. In theory, if they did re-sign Emerson, and let's say Emerson bounced back and Campbell wasn't that good, they could always
let him go
cut after Campbell after next year and then have Emerson be the starter the following season, potentially.
But you still had to pay Emerson.
You talking about for next year?
Right,
Yeah.
but
So this was the contract.
This is his contract.
This is
year.
his last year under contract.
Yes,
yes,
correct.
that's it.
Yes, you have to bring him back.
Right, but
at
this point, he's not getting much.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like it'll be one of them. You gonna have
It'd
to
be a
just
low,
take this.
yeah, with maybe like a low base, high incentive contract potentially, something like that.
Yeah, probably.
I don't know. What do you think about it, G?
Yeah, listen, I'm conflicted on two parts. First of all, if you ask me before, I just got to keep it real. Like, if you would ask me who's playing better right now between the two, it's Greg Newsome.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Between Campbell and Newsome.
Yeah.
Okay.
Greg,
I
yeah.
thought you were talking about this.
I'm just eating in the middle of the show right now.
Yeah, he had to get
Are you eating on your radio show?
He had to get it
Yes.
Oh, okay, fair.
in. Hey, man, listen, he got a doctor's note.
Matter of fact, I had 2 eggs with a sausage in between it.
Yeah.
And I was dipping it in salsa
Dang, dog.
while T-Bone was talking. I
All
would
right.
do that, so, yeah,
Man,
go ahead.
I can't believe this man's name is T-Bone. But that's another
I
story.
mean, I'm bull, so I can't really say
yeah,
it.
right.
Ty, we can hear you eating, so please don't eat during the show. We can hear you chew. It's kind of disgusting. I'm being totally honest.
Damn,
That's
harsh.
We don't have it. Just please don't eat during the show. It's very
Poor
uncomfortable.
Simon.
Go ahead, G.
All right, man, you should have did it undercover.
Yeah.
But nah, listen, Greg Newsome, I thought was having a really good year. I said it a couple of weeks ago. I thought it was crazy that his production that he's had so far. He's played some of the best tandems. You talking about Justin Jefferson? He's playing a bunch of guys. T. Higgins, DeMarch. Like, he's done a really good job. I think he's actually showed that he is probably better off suited outside, and when they had him inside, and he probably feels he was playing out of position a lot of the time. So I think if you compare the two, he was having a better year. The problem is when you're having a better year or the best year on the outside, you done price yourself in a different tax bracket. Mm-hmm. And it's exactly what Greg Newsome wants, because now it's like, okay, they traded for him. Now you're signaling the fact that pretty much the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to sign him, because they've already traded another corner. They put him in the system. So now they got him in the building. He gets the first opportunity. If he still continues up this play, he's going to have a great opportunity to get the bag. Now, for the Browns, in a sense, I break it down in two ways. Analytics and the locker room angle. Analytics-wise, it's like, okay, I think he's Campbell is a little worse than Greg Newsome. If you look at his PFF grades, I'm sure Mike has those on deck. You'll see he's struggled since 2022, which was a better year. He had an 81 grade, I think, his 2022 year, but he's been in the 60s and even in the 50s this year. If you take a look and you can go listen to people with the Jaguars, he's given up the 4 or 5 biggest plays and has got beat deep a lot this year, giving up big plays. Now, the thing is, does he have some upside? Yes. I think he's a better tackler than Greg Newsome. I think he does have some upside, but this boils down to the fact that they can control him for the next couple years. And then if he's not playing, his money comes off the books, because Browns are signaling, hey, we ain't got the bag like that. But from a locker room standpoint, this is getting very interesting because, Bull, you said something that was funny, but it's kind of true. Like, what teams make these many moves in the middle of the season? Most teams is not making groundbreaking moves with veterans, especially Joe Flacco, and then it looked like they was caught off guard at what was going on with that. Then in the middle of the night, you trade Greg Newsome. He's one of your inspirational leaders. He's your starting corner. He's part of a defense that you think you're leaning on. And what starts to happen is you going into Pittsburgh week with a rookie quarterback. The coach ain't really being committal about what's going on at the backup quarterback. You see Joe Flacco roll out in the middle of the season. Some people going to say, what the heck was that? Then you see Greg Newsome wake up. You're like, whoa, what are we doing? What's going on? Yeah. So if you're going to have a coaching staff and a locker room that has some sort of pull and tug, because this type of stuff can snowball quickly if you keep taking L's and not looking good, because they're going to start to say, well, what the heck are we doing? These are veterans. These ain't rookies.
Well, neither of these trades are to make the Browns better this year, right? It's like, because Greg Newsome is clearly playing better than Tyson Campbell is this year. I think the hope is, well, now Tyson Campbell we have cost controlled, Newsome we don't. there's upside, as you guys both talked about with Tyson Campbell. Probably at his best, he was better than Greg Newsome's been at his best, but his best was 3 and 4 years ago. So can he get back there? Maybe with Jim Schwartz he can. I don't know. Maybe because in Jacksonville, wasn't he their top corner? So maybe as So maybe he's their number 2 corner. He's gonna. I mean, I don't know. Does that really matter?
They play sides, so
yeah. So it doesn't really matter.
If he was the number 2, like if Denzel was traveling,
right?
make a
then
big
it would
difference,
matter.
but
Yeah,
they
yeah.
play sides.
But
it's worth mentioning with Campbell real quick.
Yeah.
The extension he signed last year was with their previous regime. New GM,
right.
New head coach.
Yep.
Maybe they didn't see the full potential in Campbell that the previous regime did, which signed him to that extension. And also, from a Jacksonville standpoint, by getting off of Campbell, they save about $50 million in cap space in the 27-28 seasons. So a lot of financial ramifications more than this player's significantly better than that player. It feels like a relatively lateral move from a cornerback standpoint on both sides.
How did they get out of $50 million in cap space?
Because of the way it was pushed down.
Are they taking dead cap now?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So they're taking on dead cap. So they actually take on more money this year.
Right.
To open up
which
space
they probably can
later.
afford because most of their key guys are young.
Exactly, which is why, like I said, this deal from a financial
Unlike the
standpoint,
Browns.
It makes sense for both sides in
Right.
terms of the finances.
Yeah.
And well, in terms of we got to look at it. If we're gonna keep it real, we got to look at this goes back when we always say, hey, we can only grade Tyvis your draft history until it's 3-4 years down the line. We got to wait 3-4 years. Well, listen, we about 6 in, right? So this was a first-round pick, Greg Newsome was. And we've said that we wanted to move him for a little bit of time. But your goal as an organization, if you're drafting a person in the first round, you either want that person to be a perennial starter. Greg Newsome really wasn't a perennial starter. He was a nickel back. They had to move him. You either want him to be a Pro Bowler. He was not a Pro Bowler. And you at least want to have him be good enough that you sign him to a second extension.
Right.
All 3 of those are gone. So you have to take a look at that in account when we talk about your draft class, because now that's your first 2 first rounds. You look at Jed Wills, who didn't make any of those things happen. No Pro Bowl, no second contract, and now it's Greg Newsome. And so when we talk about the Cleveland Browns and why they have to go out and get other people and plug these holes, your goal is to continue to develop these people, and hopefully you have people that make a second contract in the Pro Bowl. But that's 2 first-round picks that they kind of missed on.
I mean, if you look at 2020 through 2024, through the 2024 drafts, because it looks like they finally turned it around in 2025. I mean, how much value have they gotten out of those drafts? That's 5 years of drafts that they've gotten very little value out of. And that's why they have so many holes, and that's why they've needed to fill so many veteran players.
Yeah, I mean, look.
I'm trying to think who was the second round pick.
Well, let's look at it.
After Jed.
I mean, was that the JOK year?
Oh well, that was a home.
That's just unfortunate.
Yeah.
In 2020, I'll go
crazy.
through his draft class again. 2020, Delpit was the second round pick.
Okay.
2021, JOK was the second round pick.
Okay.
22, they did not have a second round pick. Martin Emerson and Alex Wright and David Bell were their 3 third-round picks.
Okay.
That's not terrible
No,
overall.
it's not for third-round picks, not bad at all. 23, no second-round picks. Tillman and Siaka Ika were their third-round picks.
I mean, that's bad.
Where is Ika? Did he ever get picked?
He's out of the
Some
league.
practice squad. And then 24,
practice
Mike
squad.
Hall Jr. and Zach Zinter were their second and third
Not
round
looking
picks
good,
collectively.
especially if it's in there.
So now,
Zach Zinter was the second round pick or third?
Zinter was third,
He
Mike
was
Hall was
the
second.
85th pick overall.
Dang.
So, yeah, I mean, they also drafted Anthony Schwartz at 91 in the third round in 2021. Jordan Elliott in the third round in 2020. Jacob Phillips in the third round in 2020. None of those guys are doing anything. I mean, Delpit's a solid pick for a second rounder.
We doing bad.
JOK was a great pick, but now he's hurt.
Yeah.
Newsome didn't work out. Emerson, Alex Wright's decent. David Bell was a waste. Eco waste. Tillman not looking great.
where was the Perrion Winfrey's coming from? Where didn't we draft? What year did they draft him?
He was like a fourth
Winfrey
or
was the
fifth.
4th round pick in 2022, along with Cade York in the 4th round.
Forgot about that.
4th round picks for this group: Harrison Bryant, Tommy Togiai, James Hudson, Cade York, Perrion Winfrey, Isaiah McGuire, DeJuan Jones. Not good outside of Isaiah McGuire.
That's it. Nope, not it. So
I mean, it's fourth round. Those are kind of, you don't expect them to all be great players, but you expect some. They just haven't had enough hits in the draft. They've had a few. I mean,
and then they came back with this draft class, and so far so good. Everybody looks good.
Yeah. So Tyvis, how does this? If you are, how does it take? I mentioned the locker room angle. How does it? In a locker room play out if you got a starter like, I don't know, Greg Newsome or somebody that's on a really good unit. The Browns are a good unit. How do you think it plays out that you wake up and you're like, what you mean Greg Newsome is out? And, I mean, is that a thing, or you just think they just handle it and just keep pushing because it's a business?
Well, players know the real what's going on before anybody on the outside world. So I would imagine people have already made that talk. Like I'm sure G News probably came to them like, hey, this is kind of what I want for my extension, and maybe talks fell down and they was like, we ain't paying it. So a lot of the times they already know. Like the players like, well, this probably it for him because they ain't gonna fail. So when he got traded, they was probably like, it sucks because obviously they like G New, but like they're happy. Like, all right, maybe he's gonna go get his bag in Jacksonville. But when you look at what they got back, it's like, well, this dude's supposed to be decent. He's supposed to be pretty good. So we'll know in practice. You're going to go out there. You're going to get out there.
So we're going to know a lot. We're going to know who the second quarterback is.
Get out there.
And if this dude we got can play.
You're going to get out there. What's today? Thursday? I don't know if they're doing the ones today, but you best believe they're going out there in them team periods and they going to find out.
Is he start? He going to start right?
He has to. Do you know who we got at corner outside of them?
I see he gonna start.
How quick is how quick?
Well, they playing man to man for sure.
Yeah.
I mean that's.
Yeah.
We don't. First of all, we can't handle zone anyway.
But I mean the communication.
1,000% playing man to man.
How much does he have to learn in these couple of days?
Man to man. That's it.
Even in man to man, there's no communication
unless it's a stack or a bunch.
Okay.
And we'll talk about that.
Where did he play college? Anybody know?
Georgia.
Okay. So it's not like he has a relationship with Denzel or anything.
No.
I mean, he might. That we just don't know.
Kevin Stefanski talks later. I'm sure he'll be asked about the plans for Tyson Campbell. So we'll dive into it a little bit deeper tomorrow.
Who's talking later?
Stefanski talks again later.
What time is he talking?
I believe it's after practice today. So
I wonder if he'll announce the backup quarterback. We'll get to that later. All right.